In this class, we will discuss about the state space analysis of the control system. So in the control system, we will be having a two parameter. One is input variable, other one is a output variable. So here we will have the control system. In that control system, we will be having a system parameters. So this system parameters is also called as a state variables. So these state variables are nothing but x1, x2, and we might have the n number of state variables. So these state variables will be written in the form of state equation as the differential polynomial equations. So here that differential polynomial equation of any system can be x dot of t is equal to a into x of t plus b into e of t, which is nothing but a is nothing but your system parameters or any constants, and x of t is nothing but your state variables, and b is nothing but your input constant, and u of t is nothing but your input variables. And similarly, we can have the output equation of the system. So that will be y of t is equal to c into x of t plus d into e of t. So these are nothing but your two important equations in the state space analysis. So here we are going to discuss about the state variables. So why we are going for state space analysis means in the conventional method, that means the transfer function method. So we are going to vary the input variable and we are going to get the controlled output variable with with the zero initial conditions. Okay, so here that transfer function method is nothing but the ratio of Laplace transform of output divided by Laplace transform of input with the zero initial conditions. So here this is applicable only for the linear time invariant systems. But in practical case, the system has to be analyzed in time variant cases also. So for that reason, we are going for the state space analysis. The system can be analyzed in time variant conditions, as well as we are going to vary the input variable as well as the system variable in order to obtain the desired or controlled output. So this is the main thing. That's why we are going for the state space analysis. So here we will be having a x of t, which will be x1, x2, and up to xn of t. And we will be having an input variable, which is nothing but varies from u1 of t to u2 of t and up to dp of t. Okay, and similarly we can have the output variable y1 y2 like that, and then the initial conditions will be also included here. Okay, so in the transfer function method it is not included, but here it will be included also. X of 0 is nothing but x1 of 0, x2 of 0 like that, it will be goes up. So in the general case, the state equations and the output equation can be written in the matrix form. Okay, so always the A matrix will be having a n cross n matrix, and B will be having a n cross p matrix, and C will be p cross n matrix, and D will be n p cross r matrix like that. Okay, so this will be the state space representation of any system with a general representation with the state equation, output equation, and in the matrix form. So then we can go for the block diagram representation of the state space model. So here we'll be having a state variable as well as state equation. So here in the block diagram representation, we'll be having a basic elements as adder, okay, scalar, and blocking. So here we'll be having the integrator. So integrator, if you are applying a Laplace transform for that, we will be obtaining 1 divided by s. So integrator input always will be represented as the state equation. Output will be represented as a state variable. So here we will be having a adder. So adder is being used to add two or more signals. So here you can have the input variable. So input signal. So that will be given with the block gain b, and it is being given to the state equation. Okay, state equation is nothing but your a x dot of t is equal to a into x of t plus b into e of t. So that's why. So the output of the integrator will be x of t. So we are getting a or we are sampling out the feedback signal from the x of t, and then it is being given to the block gain a. The output of that will be a into x of t. So that is given to the adder. So here that will be with the plus all plus. So therefore the signal is been adding with the input signal. So input signal available with the u of t, that will be given with the block gain b. So therefore it will be giving the output of b into u of t, that is given to the adder also. So therefore these two signals is added together and given as given to the integrator. So the integrator input signal is nothing but x dot of t, which is obviously is nothing but a into x of t plus b into e of t. And similarly, if you are going for the output equation is nothing but y of t is equal to c into x of t plus d into e of t. So now we have x of t from the integrator output. What we are going to do, we are going to take this signal and you are going to give the block gain input. Okay, so in block gain is nothing but your c. So x of t is given as the input for this. The output will be c into x of t that is given to the another adder. Okay, so here we will be having input signal u of t. So from this, the signal is been tapped out and given to the another block gain d. So I, in order to get the d into e of t, so the output of this will be d into e of t that is given to the adder itself. Okay, so therefore the output of this will be y of t, which is nothing but c into x of t plus d into e of t. Okay, so this is your state space model. So this will be similar with our block diagram model. So here we are having the difference between the transfer function as well as state space model that is just we have been discussed. So this state space model can be used for linear time variant system also. So here the transfer function model or input output models will be used only for the um, linear time invariant system. Okay, and here we can vary only the input signal so that we can have the controlled output signal. But here in the state space, we can vary the input as well as state space in order to get the desired output. So these are the things, a simple difference between the state space and the transfer function model. Okay, and then what are the terms we are going to use in this state space analysis? The first one is already we have been discussed, that is a state a system variable, and system variables will be corresponds to the input variable and also with the initial conditions, and the state variables are nothing but your system parameters, parameter constants, so that will be linearly independent with the system variables. Okay, so that all will be determined with the t greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so and then here if you are having a state variables, we will be having a state vector. So then we will be having n dimensional of state space, so that with the state variable, so therefore it can be represented in state space. So here from the state space we can able to derive the state equations. So once you got the state equation, you can also obtain the output equation. Okay, so now we can able to have the state space representation for the physical models. So in the physical model, we will be having two kinds of the system. One is electrical system and the mechanical system. First we take the mechanical system, and then we are going to discuss how to obtain the state space representation for this mechanical system. Okay, so in the mechanical system, basic elements are nothing but mass, spring, dashpot. So we are having a simple mechanical system which has a mass. So here which is being connected with the spring and dashpot. The other end of these two elements are connected with the reference. Okay, so the output is nothing but your y. Okay, and here we are having an input as f of t. So force is the input, output is nothing but your y. Y is nothing but your displacement. Now we are going to write the differential equation for this mechanical system. In order to write that, we are going to observe how many nodes are there. Okay, so the mass are represents the but one particular node. Therefore, this will be consist with the two state equations. That means here we will be having a mass. So okay, so this mass will be producing the opposing force. Therefore, the force by using a force balance equation, we can write the differential equation. Okay, so here we can have the force balance equation for the mass as input is f of t. Okay, so the opposing force will be uh, written. So the opposing force for the mass will be m into a. Okay, a is nothing but your acceleration. Therefore, we can write d square y divided by dt square with the displacement. So here instead of d square y divided by dt square, we can write y double dot. So therefore, m is nothing but your mass coefficient. So therefore, capital M into y double dot. Similarly, the opposing force developed by the spring will be proportional to displacement, but the opposing force developed by the dashpot will be proportional to uh, linear velocity. Okay, so linear velocity is nothing but dy divided by dt. So therefore, we can write the opposing force developed by the spring, which is nothing but k into x. And similarly, opposing force developed by the dashpot can be written as v into dy divided by dt. V is nothing but your dashpot or frictional coefficient. So that is been written over here, b into y dot plus k into y. So that is equal to input available force. Okay, so here the force balance equation has been written by the Newton's second law, which is nothing but sum of applied force is equal to sum of opposing forces. Applied force is nothing but only the F of t, and opposing forces are nothing but your three opposing forces. Okay, so that has been summed together and we are getting the F of t. So from this we can have the difference. This is the differential equation. So in this differential equation, we are going to assign the state variable, minimum state variable, and then we can able to obtain the state equation. So this is the differential equation method. So whenever the equation is been given like this, so highest differentiation is d square, okay, or y double dot. So here d square means that much of state variable will be available and that much of state equation will be available. So here power is 2, therefore 2 state variable will be available. So in order to assign the state variable, we have to look into the equation and we have to consider the system variable as one of the state variable. So here the system variable is nothing but your y is equal to x1. That is a first state variable. And the next state variable we have to assign as the differentiation of this. Okay, so here we can have y dot. So like that also we can assign the state variables. Okay, and then we can substitute that and we can obtain the state equation. So here we can able to see, but y double dot is available in the equation. So in order to have this, so x2 is nothing but your y dot, up y double dot is nothing but x2 dot. Okay, so up x2 dot is nothing but x2. So then if you want to determine the x1 dot, you can able to see x1 dot is nothing but y dot. Y dot is already is been assigned as x2. So therefore x1 dot is equal to x2. Now we are going to obtain the x2 dot. X2 dot is nothing but your y dot. So here you have to substitute that all these assumptions, state variable assumptions into the equation. If you are substituting that, you can able to see m into x2 dot plus b into x2 plus k into x1, that is equal to f of t. Instead of f of t, you have to represent that in terms of state space analysis as u of t. So therefore, instead of f of t, we will be having a u of t. So now, if, in order to determine only the x2 dot, you can take m equal to that side. You will be getting 1 divided by m minus of all these values minus b x2, okay, and plus k into x1. So now you can take the x1 values commonly outside. So then you will be having minus k divided by m into x1 minus b divided by m into x2 and minus 1 divided by m into f of t. So this is our state equations x2 dot and x1 dot. Once you got the state equations, you can write the state model. So here state in the state model, we will be having a x1 dot x2 dot in the column matrix, and that will be equivalent to a matrix into x of t matrix plus b matrix into u of t matrix. So here first you have to look into the x1 of t equation. X1 of t equation, we are having only the x2 variable. X1 is not available. Therefore, in the A matrix, it is a 2 cross 2 matrix. So x1 is 0. Instead of x2, you are going to substitute the coefficient as 1. And similarly, you have to look into the x1 dot equation. We are not having any u over there. Therefore, in the B matrix, it is 0. So next, we will be considering the x2 dot. So in the x2 dot, x1 coefficient is minus k divided by m, and we are going to substitute that in the first second row, second column, first element. So minus k divided by m, and then we can have the x2 order coefficient, that is minus b divided by m. So therefore we will be having a second column, second row element, that is minus b divided by m. And here you are having an input variable. So input variable or the coefficient is minus 1 divided by m, that is been written in the B matrix. Okay, so this is how we have to write the state space equation, and then we will be having output equation. In the output equation, always consider the displacements as the output. Therefore, y is equal to y, output equation y of t is equal to y. So y is already represented as x1 as a state variable. Therefore, y of t is equal to x1. So here in the output equation, we are having only the x1, x2 is not available. Therefore, you will be having a y matrix. So here also d is input variable is not there. Therefore, we can have only the C into X matrix. D is not available. So here we will be having y of t is equal to x1. Therefore, 1 and x2 is 0. And x1, x2 will be available. Okay, so by having these two state equation and output equation, you can also draw the state diagram. So here, how many state equations are there? Two state equations are there. Therefore, two integration you have to draw. Okay. So integration could before our integration input will be state equation, output will be state variable. Okay. So before that you have to draw a adder. Okay. So in this adder, so here you can able to see only the x2 dot of t has the input. Therefore, the first integrator will be consist with the x2 dot. Output will be x2. Similarly, the next here you can able to see the x2 dot is nothing but x1 dot is nothing but your x2. So therefore, in the output of x2 will be given as the input for the uh, another integrator. So another integrator input will be x1 dot, output will be x1. So x1 is equal to x2. It will be directly connected. Okay. So and then we will be having a x2 dot equation. So in the x2 dot equation, you can able to see x1 of the coefficient is minus k divided by m. So therefore, the second integrator output will be sampled out as a feedback and given to the block gain of k divided by m, and output will be this, that is k divided by m into x1. So that is given to the adder with the minus sign. Okay, and then we will be having a x2 output or first integrator output. We take the sampled feedback signal and given to the another block gain, that is a minus b divided by m. So output will be minus b divided by m into x2. So that is given to the adder and given to the uh, given with another summer. So therefore here we will be having a input signal that will be added together. Okay, so here input signal is nothing but u of t, the coefficient is 1 divided by m, so that is also minus. So here minus term will be there. So this is how you have to draw the um, state diagram. So here out, if you want to check the output, so output is directly taken from the second integrator. So second integrator output is nothing but your x1. So y of t is equal to x1. So it is been obtained. So we can draw the state diagram also. So then we can go for the next system, that is electrical system. So here the electrical system, you can write the differential equation by using a Kirchhoff's laws, Kirchhoff's voltage law and Kirchhoff's current law. So here, depending upon the how the electrical network is given, so you can use the Kirchhoff's voltage law or Kirchhoff's current law. By using that, you can write the differential equation. Once you obtain the differential equation, you can substitute the state variables and you can obtain the state model. So this is the procedure. So here we are going to take one problem. So here you can able to see the three elements RLC is connected in series and it is been connected with the voltage source. So it's a complete loop circuit. Okay, mesh circuit is given. So now, since it has been given with a closed loop current has been flowing through it, we have to use the Kirchhoff's voltage law. So here Kirchhoff's voltage law is nothing but sum of voltage rise is equal to sum of voltage drops. So voltage rise due to the voltage source, that will be E of t, that will be equivalent to voltage drop across the R resistor R, voltage drop across the inductor, voltage drop across the capacitor. So this is how we have to write the differential equation. So that has been done. E of t is equal to uh, R into I of t plus L into di divided by dt plus 1 divided by C into integral of I of t into dt. Okay, so that is the differential equation we got. Okay, so once you write the differential equation, so we have to look into the electrical network. We have to check how many inductor and capacitors are given. Okay, so here we are having one inductor and one capacitor. Current through the inductor will be assigned as the one state variable, and the voltage across the capacitor will be assigned as the another state variable. Therefore, we are having a two state variable. So if you are having a two state variable, then you will be having a two state equation. Okay, so here you have been assigned the state variable as x of t is equal to I of t, and voltage across this capacitor will be x2, that is the second state variable. So now you can substitute that into the here in these equations and you can write the x1 dot and x2 dot equation also. Okay, so if you are doing that, you can able to see x1 dot is equal to minus r divided by L and minus 1 divided by LC. Okay, and plus 1 divided by L into E of t, it will becomes. Okay, and then the second x2 dot equation is nothing but x1. Okay, so here there is no input, therefore only x2 dot is equal to x1. So y of t will be only the x1. So x1 and x2 will be the state variables. So that is how you can write the state model for this electrical network also. So here important thing is you have to look into the electrical diagram. Okay, so and then you have to check how many inductor and capacitors are there. That much of state variable will be available. So you have to assign the state variable, substitute that into the differential equation. You'll be getting a state model. Okay, and then we can go for the next thing. So here you can able to see the transfer function is given. So we are going to obtain the state model for this also. So whenever the equation is being given like this, so obtain the differential equation. So differential equation is been given as a c triple dot 9c dot double dot 26 dot and 24c, and that is equal to 24r. Okay, so here how many differentiation is there? Maximum differentiation is there. That much of state variable will be available. So here three differentiation is there. Therefore, we will be having a three state variable. So x1 dot is and x2 dot and x3 dot. So three state equation will also come. So first of all, we should assign the state variables. In order to assign the state variable, so its system variable is nothing but c. Therefore, x1 is equal to c. Next is state variable is nothing but differentiation of this. So that is a differentiation of c is nothing but a second state variable. Next state variable is nothing but differentiation of um, c dot. So therefore, c double dot will be x3. So, but here in the equation, differential equation, we are having a c triple dot. So, in order to represent that, we can have x3 dot. X3 dot is nothing but c triple dot. Okay, so therefore, substitute all the representation into the equation. You can obtain x3 dot. X3 dot is nothing but 24 into U. Okay, so that is the input. R is nothing but input. Therefore, 24 into plus 24 into R and minus 24 into X1 minus 24 into 26 into X2 and minus 9 into x3. Okay, so here that will be the x3 dot. X2 dot is nothing but your x3, x1 dot is nothing but your x2. Okay, so and then output equation obviously is nothing but your system variable. So therefore your system variable is nothing but c. C is represented as x1. So therefore y is equal to x1. So this is how we have to write the state equation and the state output equation. Once you done that, it's very easy to write the state model and the state diagram also. So here you have to look in the x1 dot equation, we are having only x2. So therefore, here x1 is 0, x3 is 0, x2 instead of x2 1. And similarly, the second equation, x2 dot only x3 is there. So therefore, 0, 0, 1. And here minus 26, minus 24, minus 26, minus 9. So 0, 0, 24. So y is equal to 1, 0, 0, x1, x2, x3, like that. Okay, so here by having this, you can draw the state diagram also. Okay, so since you are having a three state variable or a three state equations, you will be having three integrator. So here x3 dot has all the x1, x2, x3. So therefore, the first integrator will be considered with x3 dot. So before that, you can have the adder. So from this input signal has been given with a coefficient block gain of 24, and then x3 dot coefficient is 9, so that is being given with the block gain, and the x2 dot coefficient is 26, that is being given with the block gain, and x1 x1 order coefficient is nothing but 24, that is also given in the block gain feedback gain, and all these things is being given with the adder, and it is being given and added together, and then it is being written as the equation x3 dot. Okay, and then x2 dot is already is nothing but your x3, and x1 dot is nothing but your x1. So therefore directly you can connect from the output of the first integrator will be the second integrator. The output of second integrator will be input for the first integrator. Okay, so here we can have the output equation as x1. So the third integrator will be directly taken as the output. Okay, and then we can go for the next thing. So if you are having a transfer function as like this, the numerator divided by the denominator term. So if you want to determine the state space by constructing the signal flow graph, then this method will be useful. So here we are, first of all, we have to look into the transfer function and how much s cube is there in the denominator we have to observe. So s cube in the denominator is nothing but s cube is commonly taken outside. Okay, so then you can have 1 plus 4 divided by s, and then 2 divided by s square and 1 divided by s cube. So this denominator s can be goes to the numerator, but 10 divided by s cube divided by 1 minus of minus term. Why? Because we are going to compare this with the Moissan's gain formula. Moissan's gain formula is nothing but 1 divided by del. Okay, and pk del k. Okay, pk is nothing but number of forward path, del k is nothing but the del for that means the loop which does not test the kth forward path. And here del is nothing but 1 minus sum of individual loops plus the sum of gain products of non all possible combination of two non-touching loop gains, like that. Okay, so here we are going to see, so 1 minus of sum of individual loops. So here the 1 minus of this will be gives you the individual loops. Numerator will be the forward path. Okay, so here based on this we are going to draw the signal flow graph. So in the numerator 10 divided by s cube, that means 1 by s is there in the 3 times. So here instead of and the numerator also has the constant as 10. So therefore signal is been starting from node u, okay, input node u, and then it has the branch gain of 10. Okay, and then we are having a first node, and then it has the 1 by s. So here in differentiate from one by s into the another 1 by s, just we are using a branch gain as 1. Okay, so here branch gain 1, and then next 1 by s, next one branch gain, and next 1 by s, and next output will be y. Okay, so here the first 1 by s will be having input node and output node. Input node will be considered as the state equation, output node will be considered as a state variable. That means x3 dot and x3. Similarly, second integrator will be x2 dot and x2. And here also x1 dot output node will be x1. So now we are going to come to the loop. So in the first loop we are having 4 divided by s. Only single 1 by s will be connected. Therefore, from the last x1, okay. So x1 here we are going to draw the feedback. Okay, so minus 4. And similar next 2 divided by s square. 2s has to be 2 1 by s has to be connected in the feedback. So the last 1 by s and the before 1 by s, 2 1 by s has been connected together, and the feedback gain is been drawn as minus 2, and then 1 divided by s is cube. So one all the 3 1 by s is being covered, so that we can draw the feedback gain as minus 1. So here is signal flow graph has been constructed. So now we are going to take the state equation node. In this particular node where the signals are coming, you have to check and then add all those signals, and then you will be getting a state equation. That's all. So here if you are thinking x3 dot, if you are taking a x3 dot, okay, signal is coming from u, 10 into u. Okay, other signal is coming from x1 node, so branch gain as minus, so minus x1. So if we are taking x2 dot node, signal is been coming from x1, and other signal is coming from x1, the coefficient is minus 2. So x3 and another signal is minus 2 into x1. And if you are taking a x1 dot node, so signal is being coming from x2, the feedback signal is also coming from minus 4 into x1. Okay, so now write all the equations. So x1 dot is equal to minus 4 into x1 plus x2. X2 dot is equal to minus 2 into x1 plus x3, and x3 dot is nothing but minus x1 plus 10 into u. So output equation, obviously you can look into the output node, that is x1. So y is equal to x1. So now you can write the state equation x1 dot x2 dot x3 dot. So in the x1 dot equation we are having only the x1 coefficient is minus 4, x2 coefficient is 1, x3 is not available 0. So u is also not available 0. And then x2 dot equation the x1 coefficient is minus 2, x3 coefficient is X2 coefficient is not available 0, X3 is available, so its coefficient is 1. So U is not available, therefore 0. So X3 dot is equal to -1, and X2 X3 is not available 0 0. U is available, its coefficient is 10. So in the Y equation, only X1 is available, therefore 1 0 0. So this is how you can write the state model for the system by constructing the signal flow graph. And then we can go for the um, state space representation by using a canonical uh, variable. Okay, so here we can have the transfer function. You can able to see 10 into s plus 4 divided by s into s plus 1 s plus 3. So here the transfer function, you can able to see numerator s plus term is available. So whenever the numerator s plus term is there, then we can use two method. One is by applying a partial fraction method, you can able to obtain the transfer function. Okay, so here we can able to take the y of s divided by u of s and apply the partial fraction. So here a divided by s plus b divided by s plus 1 plus c divided by s plus 3. Determine the a value, b value, c value. A value is nothing but 40 divided by 3 and b value is minus 15, c value is plus 5 by 3. So just determine that and substitute that into the y of s. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are going to write the y of s such a way that we can able to draw the canonical state diagram. So here y of s is equal to numerator is a constant. So you take that separately and 1 divided by s available. So therefore forward path gain is 1 divided by s. Okay. So u of s is being multiplied with all the three terms. So and then minus 15 is there, minus take it out. So 15 is the gain. So therefore we are going to take in the multiplication. So here in the denominator, um, we are having s plus 1. Take the s commonly outside, you will be getting 1 plus 1 divided by s. So this denominator s can goes to the numerator. It will be available as a forward path integrator, that is 1 divided by s. So 1 divided by s divided by 1 plus 1 divided by s. So that means 1 minus of minus. That means this will be denominator will be considered as a loop. Okay, or in the feedback signal. So 1 minus of minus 1 by s, that is nothing but negative feedback, therefore 1 plus 1 by s will come. Okay, that will be multiplied with the input signal u of s. And similarly with the third term, 5 by 3 is a constant, comes outside with the multiplication, and here the denominator consists with the s plus 3. Take the s commonly outside, you will be getting 1 plus 3 divided by s. So this denominator s goes to the numerator for the forward path integrator. Okay, denominator will be loop. So 1 minus of minus 3 by s. So now we are going to draw the canonical state diagram. So here you can able to see all the term consists with u. So therefore first of all you have to draw the u of s. So from this we are going to take the branch and you are going to give the input signal to the first term. First term we are having first forward path as 1 by s. So 1 by s. So here that will be multiplied with the block gain as 40 divided by 3. So that is directly given to the adder. So in the this adder gives you the output. Okay. So now the second term. Second term is been summation. So therefore same input node and the signal has been coming. Okay. So here forward path is available. So therefore 1 by s is taken. So here loop is also available. Loop gain is 1. So here only branch feedback branch gain as 1 is been taken and it's given as the integrator before 1 by s. Okay, so therefore this will be all the thing will be given with the multiplication of block gain 15. So the output of this will be given to the output adder. Okay, similarly with the third term la forward path we are having a 1 by s. Therefore 1 by s you have to draw. Before that draw a adder. So this adder adds the two signal. One is from the input signal, other signal from the feedback. Okay, so feedback from the uh, integrator. Integrator feedback signal is nothing but -3. So that is been drawn. So here multiplication factor is available, that is 5 divided by 3. That is been drawn in as the gain. So that is been given to the output adder. Okay, so now you can see the state canonical state diagram and how many integrator is there. 3 1 by s is available. Okay, so integrator or input will be state equation, output will be state diagram. You can assign any of the state variables. So x1 dot and x1, and here second integrator x2 dot x2, and the third integrator x3 dot x3. So now before this x2 dot, if adder is there, then add the signals from where the signals are coming. If you are adding that, then you will be getting the state equation. So now you can able to observe x1 dot is equal to u of s only. Therefore, x1 dot is equal to u. x2 dot before we are having adder. This adder adds the two signal from the input signal. Other one is feedback from the x2. Okay, so therefore minus x2. Okay, so x2 dot is equal to minus x2 plus u. Similarly, with the x3 dot, we are having a adder. So one signal is coming from input, other signal is coming from the x3, 3 into x3, minus 3 into x3. So that is what here it has been added together. x3 dot is equal to minus 3 into x3 plus u. Okay. So now you can write the output equation. Output equation is nothing but the signal is coming out from the adder, output adder. Okay, so here what are the signal has been added in the output adder 40 divided by 3 into x1. Other signal is x2 into minus 15. Okay, other signal is 5 divided by 3 into x3. So these signals are added. Okay, so now you can consider this. Consider these equations and you can write the state model also. So if you are writing the state model, x1 dot x2 dot x3 dot is equal to x1 dot equation, there is no x1, x2, x3, therefore 0, 0, 0. U is available, therefore 1. And x2 dot we are having only the x2. X1 is 0, x3 is 0, minus 1. And u is also available 1. And x3 dot only x3 is available, coefficient of minus 3. Up x1 ku x2 ku 0, 0, minus 3. Here u is available 1. Okay, output equation is nothing but x1 would a coefficient 40 divided by 3, x2 would a coefficient minus 15, x3 would a coefficient 5 divided by 3. So that will be the C row matrix, and column matrix will be the state variable x1, x2, x3. Okay, so now you can able to check here. You can able to see the transfer function. Okay, so if you are comparing this transfer function with the state canonical state model, okay, you can compare this and you can come to the conclusion. Okay, so here if we are looking into the transfer function, in the transfer function the denominator gives you the roots of the system. Okay, so here what are the roots of the system? S is equal to 0, S is equal to minus 1, S is equal to minus 3. So these are the three roots. Okay, so all these values should be come in the diagonal elements in the state A matrix. If it comes as like this, then obtained state model will be considered as a canonical state model. Okay, so if you are doing the problem correctly, then you will be getting answer correctly. Okay, so here you have to draw the canonical state diagram properly, and then you can get the canonical state diagram. You can also check whether you are obtained answer are correct or not with the given problem. Okay, by the concept that the roots of the system has to be given as the diagonal element in the canonical state model. Okay, so here S is equal to 0, first diagonal element, and then S is equal to minus 3, second diagonal element. Okay, and the minus 3 is also with the comes as a diagonal elements. So here you can solve the problem as like this with this method. Okay, and then we can go for the next topic, that is the solution of state equations with the input signal, without input signal. So here we are having a state equation. So this state differential equation will be uh, obtained with the solutions. So here, if you are having a without input signal, x of t will be obtained as e power at into x of 0. Okay, so this x of t can be obtained by two methods. Okay, so that is e power at method. Other one is Laplace transform method. Okay, so here e power at is nothing but L inverse of Si minus A, the whole inverse. So this e power at is nothing but a state transition matrix. So now we can go with the next thing, solution of state equation with the input signal. So if you are considering the input signal, then the solution for the state equation can be written as e power at x of 0 plus integration of 0 to t e power a into t minus tau, b into u of tau into d tau, where the tau is nothing but your dummy variable. So here this can be written in terms of Laplace transfer function method. So therefore x of t can also be written as a phi of t into x of 0 plus L inverse of phi of s plus b into u of s u of s. Okay, so these are the simple equations. By having that, you can able to solve any kind of the problems. Here the state transition matrix is nothing but e power at, which is nothing but phi of t. Phi of t is nothing but L inverse of Si minus A the whole inverse. So here the e power at is nothing but a state transition matrix, which will be having a various properties. So phi of 0 is nothing but your e power 0, which is nothing but 1. Phi of t can be written as e power at. So e power at the whole inverse we can also write like this. Okay, so these are the various properties. So based on this also we might have the questions. Okay, so and then how to determine the state transmission matrix if any given state model. Okay, so here you can able to say simple 2 cross 2 matrix is given in the state model. So x1 dot x2 dot is equal to 1 0 0 1 x1 x2. Okay, simple problem is given. You have to obtain the um, state equation, solution for this state equation with the initial condition 0 and 1 is given. Okay, we are going to obtain e power at and then it will be multiplied with the initial condition, then you will be getting a solution for the state equation. That is what we are going to do. So here first of all you have to take the A matrix, that is 1 0 0 1 1 and then Si minus A. So yes I is nothing but your unit matrix. So unit matrix is it's a 2 cross 2 matrix, therefore 1 0 0 1 and then minus A matrix is nothing but your given matrix. So then determine, multiply with S, okay, with the unit matrix and S minus A. Okay, so you will be getting S minus A 0 minus 1 S minus 1. So now you have to determine the determinant. Determinant is nothing but S minus 1 the whole square. Okay, so you will be getting, and then we have to determine Si minus A the whole inverse, which is nothing but a cofactor of Si minus A the whole transpose divided by determinant of Si minus A. Okay, so determinant already determined. So 1 divided by Si minus 1 the whole square and then we have to determine the cofactor. So cofactor for this will be Si minus 1 0 1 Si minus 1. So now within bracket multiply and we will be getting Si minus A the whole inverse as like this. So now we are going to take the e power at. E power at is nothing but your L inverse of Si minus A the whole inverse. Okay. So if you are applying an inverse Laplace for this 1 divided by S minus A, S minus 1, which is nothing but e power plus t. Okay. So 0, 1 divided by S minus 1 whole square. So whole square is t into e power t. And here 1 divided by S minus 1 is nothing but e power t. Okay. So this is how you have to determine the solution for this state equation. E power at is determined. Now you have to determine the x of t. X of t is equal to e power at into x of 0. So x of 0, if you are multiplying with this, you will be getting a column matrix as a resultant. That is e power at t into e power t. This is your solution for this particular state equation. Okay, so like that we can solve. The concept is very simple. And then we can go for the important topic in the state space analysis. So here we are going to observe the system whether it is controllable or observable. So that will be done by using a controllability and observability test. So this test will be done by two methods which will be developed by the Gilbert's method and Kalman's method. Okay. So first of all, we are going to take discuss the Gilbert's method. Okay. So here you can able to see the state equation is given. Transformation of state equation will be obtained as z dot as equal to inverse v z plus b vector into u. Y is equal to c vector into z plus d into u. Here where inverse v is nothing but a Gramian matrix, which is nothing but m inverse a into a m, where m is nothing but your model matrix. Okay. Similarly, if you are taking a b vector, which is nothing but m inverse b, okay, and similarly c vector is nothing but c into m. Okay, so now you know what are the transformation of state model. If you want to obtain the, or if you want to check the controllability and observability, if this b vector has all the elements as non-zero element, okay, then the system is completely controllable. If the c vector has all the elements as non-zero elements, then it will be considered as a completely observable. Okay, so these are the simple thing. So here yeah, we'll be having various methods how to determine this model method and like that, and then we can go for the same thing. For the observability test also, we are going to check, we are going to transform the given state model into the transformation of state model. Z dot is equal to inverse V Z plus B vector into U. Y is equal to C vector into Z plus D into U. So from this, we are going to check C vector is equal to C into M. Okay, and then we can able to see other method, that is Kalman's test. In the Kalman's test, the controllability test will be obtained by having this matrix. So that is B A dot B, A square dot B, okay, like that it will be goes. If the determinant of QZ is not equal to 0 and the rank of the matrix is equal to number of state variable, then the system is said to be completely controllable. Otherwise, it's not controllable. Okay, similarly, with the Kalman's test, Q naught is be equivalent to C transpose, A transpose, C transpose, A transpose the whole square into C transpose, like this, like that it will goes. If the determinant of Q naught is not equal to 0 and all the state variable is considered with the number of state variable will be considered as the number of rank of the system, then the system is said to be completely observable. Okay, so these are the two conditions or two methods. So then how to determine the Gramian matrix and then a model matrix, that we are going to discuss now. So here we already know Gramian matrix is nothing but inverse V, which is equal to M inverse A into M. B vector is equal to M inverse B and C vector is equal to C into M. Okay, so mostly D will not be available, therefore Y equal to only C into C vector into Z. Okay, so here also we can compute the state transition matrix E power AT, which will be equivalent to M into E power inverse V into T, M inverse. Okay, so here E power inverse V into T is nothing but E power lambda 1 into T diagonal elements, it will come. Okay, so 0 0 0 e power lambda 2 into D 0 0 0 e power lambda 2 lambda 3 into T. Okay, so here lambda 1 lambda 2 lambda 3 are nothing but your eigen values. Okay, so and then we can go for the how to determine the eigen model matrix. So model matrix can be determined with two methods. One is by using a vendor model matrix. If eigen values are different, okay, are distinct, different, then you can directly use the vendor model matrix, which is nothing but 1 1 1 lambda 1 lambda 2 lambda 3 lambda 1 square lambda 2 square lambda 3 square. Okay, once you determine this M, then you can determine the M inverse, which is nothing but cofactor of M whole transpose divided by determinant of M. Then the other method is, so if we are having a repeated lambda values, okay, so then we have to determine lambda 1 into I minus E. Okay, so you have to determine this vector, matrix vector. Okay, from this, take the first row and determine the cofactor for this. So that will be small m1. M1 is equal to C11, C12, C13, like that. Okay, similarly, M2 will, if M2 and M3 are repeated, okay, then you have to take, sorry, M1 and M2 are repeated in that case. Okay, so M2 can be taken as similarly you can determine a lambda 2 into I minus A. So you can take a C11, C12, C13. Okay, so M2 is nothing but the column matrix of C11, C12, C13. So M3 is repeated means then lambda 2 I minus A matrix first row cofactor you might have determined. So on that C11, C12, C13 has to be differentiated with the lambda 2 itself. Differentiate then lambda 2 value substitute you can obtain the M3. So once you determined all the M1, M2, M3, then you can determine the model matrix, which is nothing but row matrix, which is M1, M2, M3. Okay. So once you determine the model matrix, you can determine the M inverse. Then you can determine the Gramian matrix, like that. Okay. So then we can able to see, once you determine the model matrix, you can determine the controllability, observability of the system, and then you can also compute the state transition matrix. Already I have told how to determine by using a formula M into Q of T into E power inverse V to T M inverse. Okay, so this will be for the canonical state transition matrix. Okay, so where Q of T is nothing but 1 diagonal elements. Upper diagonal will be tt and t square divided by t. Okay, so this will be the Q of t. You can substitute that and then you can determine the state transition matrix also. And then we can go for the next topic, that is until now we might have discussed how to determine the state space representation of any given system. So if the transfer function is given, how to determine the state if the state is given, how to determine the transfer function, that is what we are going to discuss. So from the state equation and output equation, you can apply the Laplace transform and you can have the equations as like this: x of s and y of s. In the y of s, mostly u will be 0, but you can consider also. So in the u of s, you can substitute instead of x of s, you can substitute this value and you can get the transfer function. In the both the right hand side, you have the u of s. Take the commonly outside and bring it to the denominator. Transfer function is nothing but Laplace transform of output divided by input with 0 initial condition, that is equal to c into Si minus A the whole inverse B plus D. Okay, so this is your transfer function. Okay, and then you can able to see the problem. So here you can able to see the state equation. In the state equation, we are having A matrix, B matrix, and C matrix. So first of all, you have to determine Si minus A matrix. Once you determine, then Si minus A the whole inverse. Okay, so first you have to determine the cofactor of all the elements. Okay, and then அதுக்கு transpose எடுத்துட்டு divided by determinant of Si minus A the whole inverse. Okay, and next you can determine the transfer function. Just you have to substitute and determine the transfer function. It's very simple. Okay, and then we can go for the various gate problems. So now you can able to see the first problem: which one of the following statements regarding the state transition matrix is correct? Okay, so we have been discussed various properties. Okay, so we are going to check with that. Okay, we already know phi of t is equal to e power at. That is nothing but L inverse of Si minus whole inverse. Okay, here from this phi of 0 is nothing but e power at. So t instead of t 0, that is 1. Phi of 0 is also 1. Okay, and then next property is phi of t plus 1, t plus t1 plus t2, that is e power a t1 plus t2, that is equal to e power a into t1 plus e power a into t2. So that is phi of t1 dot phi of t2. Okay, so here instead of this we can also write like this also. Okay, so from all these things, c is not relevant, therefore this one is. So here பார்த்தீங்கன்னா first வந்து it's not relevant, that is phi of 0 is equal to 1, but it is given as 0, so it is not correct. Okay, so and then phi of 0 is equal to phi of 1 divided by t, it is also not correct. So and then the d is also not correct, only the c is the correct one. Okay, so that is why it has been chosen. So for this you have to know very well with the state transition matrix or properties. Okay, and then we go to the next second problem. So in this second problem, just we have been completed to obtain the state transition matrix for this. A matrix is given. So you have to determine e power at, which is nothing but L inverse of Si minus A the whole inverse. So unit matrix S001 Si and then A matrix. So determine this cofactor and determinant, and then L inverse apply பண்ணீங்கன்னா you will be getting e power t 0 0 into e power t. So that is the answer. Okay, so here third question. So the system is been described by the state equation. So A matrix is given, B and C matrix is given. We have to determine the transfer function. So formula is C into Si minus A the whole inverse plus into B plus D. Okay, D is not available, so just C, B and A is there. So Si first determine the Si minus A and then determine the Si minus A the whole inverse, and next Si minus A whole inverse dot B ரெண்டுத்தையும் multiply பண்ணிட்டு you get the column matrix. Okay, which is S divided by S plus 7. Okay, and then you will be having multiplication with the determinant. You can have the transfer function as like this. So this will be compared with the given options. The correct answer will be A. Okay, and then next problem is you can able to see the state model is given. So we have to check whether it is controllable or observable. Okay, so whenever the 2 cross 2 matrix given, so QC can be taken as only B and A dot B. If 3 cross 3 matrix given, then you can take QC matrix as B, A dot B, A square dot B. Okay, so here QC matrix is only B and A dot B. So we know the B matrix, A dot B is obtained. Okay, so directly substitute and determine its determinant, which is nothing but -1, which is not equal to 0. Therefore, if the QC determinant of QC is not equal to 0, then obviously it is controllable. Okay, so similarly, for the observable, we have the Kalman's test, which is C transpose, A transpose, C transpose. Well, only we are taking this. Why? Because it is 2 cross 2 matrix. If 3 cross 3 matrix means, then you have to take the another formula, that is C transpose, A transpose, C transpose, A transpose the whole square into C transpose. Since it is a 2 cross 2 matrix, only the 2. Okay, so here C transpose is written and A transpose C transpose is also returned. So if you are determining the result determinant, it is also not coming some value. So it is not equal to 0. Therefore, it is observable. So the correct answer available in the option A. That is the correct answer. Okay, so you have to remember these things. So then we can go for the next problem. So state equation is given. Okay, and so x1 dot is equal to x1 plus u, x2 dot is equal to this. Okay, so we have to they have told that system is completely controllable. Okay, the system is said to be controllable. It is possible to transform the initial state of the system to any desired state with the application of input. Okay, within the finite interval of time. Okay, so இதுல given options என்ன சொல்லிருக்காங்கன்னா, so both A and R reason assertion both are correct. Okay, so R is correct explanation of A. So similarly, we have to check. Okay, so first என்ன சொல்லிருக்காங்க assertionல இது completely controllable. First we have to check whether it is completely controllable or not. Okay, so for this we have to write the state model. State model பார்க்கும்போது x1 dotல x minus -1 plus u1. Okay, x2 dot x1 1 minus 2. Okay, so and then you can take the A matrix. From this A matrix, B matrix is there. Upper QC is equal to B A dot B. So determinant, if you are checking, it is comes as a 0 value. Okay, so therefore hence the system is uncontrollable. Okay, so first இது என்ன ஆயிடுச்சு நமக்கு false ஆயிடுச்சு. Okay, so second reason we are going to check. Okay, so first இது வந்து நமக்கு என்ன false ஆயிட்டதுனால இங்க first option false எதுல வருது option D ல. So therefore option D will be the correct answer. Okay, similarly like that simple things we can do. Okay, so here next problem can be differential equation is given. Okay, so here we have to determine the state differential equation is there. Okay, so from this differential equation we have to obtain the state transfer function. So on the transfer function we can obtain the state model. Okay, so here you can able to see differential equation to apply the Laplace transform. You will be getting s square 3 into s plus 2 into y of s, that is equal to u of s. To determine the transfer function, 1 divided by s square plus 3s plus 2. So now in the this is the transfer function we determined. Okay, so you can proceed with this transfer function method, or you can also take the same differential equation and obtain the directly transfer state model also. Since it is a differential equation method, so state variable will be assigned. Okay, so here you can able to see assigned and substitute that into the differential equation. You can obtain the state model as like this A matrix. So A matrix is 0, 1, minus 2, minus 3. So that is available in the option C. That will be the correct answer. Okay, and then we can go for the next problem. So here the state equation of an initially relaxed system is given. So we have to determine the K. Okay, so as usual, so இது வந்து uncontrollable சொல்லிட்டாங்க. So controllability க்கு check பண்ணணும். So here we will be having QC is equal to B A dot B. So uncontrollable means it will the determinant will be equivalent to 0. Okay, so if you are making that, you can obtain the K value is equal to 4. So 4 is available in the option B. That will be the correct answer. Okay, and then the state space model of a system is given by dx divided by dt is equal to ax plus bu y is equal to c into x. So here we have to determine the overall transfer function. So obviously it is a 2 cross 2 matrix. So it's very simple to determine the transfer function. As usual, c into si minus a the whole inverse dot b. So the same method you have to follow. Transfer function is determined as 1 divided by s plus 2. So that is available in the option C. That is the correct answer. Okay. And then we can able to see how to determine the response, impulse function response. Okay, this is A matrix, B matrix, C matrix. So now you can able to obtain x1 dot is equal to, you can write the state equations directly. X1 dot is equal to 2 into x1 plus u of t. Similarly, x2 dot is equal to 4 into 4 plus u of t. Okay, so here first equation to apply the Laplace transform, you will be getting as like this. So output equation, if you are writing 4 into x1 of s only comes. So here you can obtain here impulse input is considered as a del of t. Okay, so therefore the transfer function can be obtained as this one, that is 4 into x1. X1 oda value already தெரியும், substitute பண்ணுங்க, you will be getting y of s. So y of s inverse Laplace transform apply பண்ணும்போது y of t will be obtained as 4 into e power 2t. Okay, so that is available in the option B. That will be the correct answer. Okay, so and then we can go for the next problem. So here if phi of s is given, okay, so we have to determine the matrix C. So usually A matrix will be given. We usually determine the phi of s, but here inversely they have given. That's all. So phi of s is equal to this one. Okay, so the determinant is commonly taken out. So remaining s plus 6 1 minus 5s. Okay, so this is your if you are taking that, so then si minus a can be taken. Okay, so then you will be getting si minus a whole inverse will be this divided by this. Okay, so therefore phi of s will be this. So இங்க நியூமரேட்டர்ல எனக்கு என்ன matrix இருக்கோ, that will be relevant to your option D. Okay, so therefore that will be taken as a answer. So then we can go for this problem. Okay, so here A matrix, B matrix, C matrix is given. Okay, signal flow graph going to construct. Okay, so இது பாத்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு இது first we have to write the state equation. State equation x1 dot is equal to minus 2 in x1 plus x2, and x2 dot is equal to minus x1 3 into u. Okay, y is equal to x1 plus 2 into x2. So now by having this, you can draw the state diagram. This state diagram is similar with your option B. That will be the correct answer. Okay. So here how to draw the signal flow graph means x1 dot க்கு எங்க இருந்து சிக்னல் வருது, x1 ல இருந்து. So input is x1 is there. ஓகேங்களா, so x1 ஓட கோஎஃபிஷியன்ட்க்கு எங்க இருந்து வருது சிக்னல், x1 ல இருந்து ஃபீட்பேக்ல -2. ஓகேங்களா, and then x2 ல இருந்து signals is coming. Okay, and then similarly x2 ஓட கோஎஃபிஷியன்ட் வந்து x1 ல இருந்து எனக்கு வந்துடும் சிக்னல், and then 3 into u. Okay, so input ல இருந்து எனக்கு சிக்னல் வருது, and then output equation x1 directly எனக்கு கிடைச்சிச்சு, and then 2 into x2. This is x2 ல இருந்து 2 வந்து எனக்கு டிரா பண்ணியாச்சு. Okay, and then next problem we can discuss. So here you can able to see A matrix is given. Okay, so and then initial condition is given, y matrix is given. So we have to determine the response y of t for a particular time t is equal to 1 by 2 la, what is the response we are going to discuss. So here you can able to see y is equal to c into si minus a the whole inverse x of 0. Okay, so y is equal to c matrix அப்புறம் si minus a the whole matrix அப்புறம் x initial condition எல்லாத்தையும் multiply பண்ணீங்கன்னா you will be getting this y is equal to 0. So அப்போ whatever the value, so output response is 0. 0 will be the correct answer. Okay, similarly you can solve this problem. So here A matrix is given, B and C matrix is given. We have to determine the steady state error. So steady state error determined by the formula is 1 plus C into A inverse B. So if you are doing that, resultant can be obtained as 0.667. Okay, so by this we complete the problem. Okay, thank you for attending the class.